Hello, folks. Good evening, and welcome back to Talking to Turf TV. I feel like recently my channel has really grown well, but I feel also a bit weird in a way that I am, of course, primarily a burger channel, but for one reason or another, I seem to have moved more to the Watchalong phase recently, which is lovely because I really enjoy expressing my passion for football and hopefully bringing entertainment to people as well when I watch. So we're here again for a match of crucial importance, a match between two of the three biggest clubs in English football, undisputably really Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United are in the top three, and they go head to head tonight. Have victory for Liverpool takes them uh, within just 1 point of Man City at the top of the table. And of course, Liverpool still have to go to the Etihad, I think, in about 4 weeks' time. So I said during the Crystal Palace Man City Watchalong on Monday night that I felt that City's failure to win that put Liverpool as favourites in my mind to title, and definitely not even more so if Liverpool could take maximum points tonight. From an Arsenal perspective, it's all about cementing the top four place and stealing a match on Manchester United, who are on a really desperate downward spiral and something of a whatever at the moment. So Arsenal are 1 point ahead of Manchester United, and this is the first of their three games in hand on Manchester United. So you'd have to say that an Arsenal victory for them tonight, you'd have to say puts them with 1 foot in the Champions League for next season. Uh, just while I wait for people to join, I'm just going to share the stream around to increase engagement levels, and then I'll read out tonight's starting lineups. Uh, right, sorry folks, I'm back with you now. You are my undivided attention. I've just shared that around to get some more people into the stream. And tonight's certain lineups are as follows. Uh, for Arsenal, we see Aaron Ramsdale in goal, a centre-back partnership of Gabriel and Ben White, full-backs of Tierney and Cedric Chares, a solid midfield pivot of Granit Xhaka, Thomas Partey, had Bukayo Saka providing a whiff from the right, Gabriel Martinelli on the left, Odegaard playing in the advanced number 10 role and the lone striker of Lacazette for Liverpool, and the only change for either side from the victorious weekend fixtures is that Thiago Alcantara comes into the centre of Liverpool midfield to replace Navigator. So for Liverpool, it's Alisson in goal, centre-back pairing of Van Dijk, Joe Matip, wing-backs of Alexander-Arnold, Andy Robertson, Henderson in midfield, Fabinho in the destructive Oldham role, and actually not more Salah drops out for Liverpool. His place is taken from the start in the centre of Liverpool, tapped by Diego Jota. Luis Diaz starts for Liverpool, but appears to be swapping sides. This time starting on the left with Sadio Mane also in attack for Liverpool. So Liverpool were in absolutely disgusting away shirt, the one that looks like a go-kart in red and yellow uniform, a bit like a McDonald's uniform, to be honest. It's absolutely horrible, even though Liverpool do have some nice shirts. Sort of players just going through the formalities. Jurgen Klopp looks really cold-eyed and under his cap. And we're going to be ready to go in a minute, folks. Arteta rubs his chin on the TV screen for hours, still looking a bit nervous about what he's going to see. Mo Salah, understandably, being rested by Jurgen Klopp because Liverpool was still pursuing 4 trophies, and who will bet against them winning 2 or at least 3 at the moment, the way they're going. So Liverpool are going to kick the game off with Jordan Henderson over the ball. The players take the knee, and we're away. We're ready to go when the referee blows his whistle. We're away. Liverpool in possession. A long ball upfield to Joe Matip, headed on by Diego Jota, and almost a moment's confusion for Arsenal in defence, but it's away. And Liverpool come back again with Matip, who again goes long to the feet of Diego Jota. The ball comes out to Mane, who faces up Kieran Tierney, goes back against Trent Alexander-Arnold, who plays a frighteningly good ball into the box, which Aaron Ramsdale comes and has to hurriedly punch, and there's almost a collision between Ramsdale and Jota. Jota goes down under the challenge for Ramsdale, but not a penalty because Ramsdale takes the ball and then the man, and we have a corner on the right. No, excuse me, on the left-hand side for Liverpool, which will be swung in. Lands on head of Joe Matip, but it's not really an attack on goal. He just makes contact. the ball takes a deflection, and again we have another corner to Liverpool. This time going to be taken on the alternate flank. Trent Alexander-Arnold looks like he's going to take an in-swinger. He does. And it's a header by Virgil van Dijk and an excellent, astute and agile save by Aaron Ramsdale, who has to get down low. And he couldn't have seen it coming. The ball comes through a crowd of bodies. And Ramsdale will just, a save that you'd expect him to make. But nevertheless, another corner to Liverpool and a fantastic start by them. Arsenal really need to get through the spell. Ball comes in again from Trent. This time Arsenal get the first header. And it's out to Luis Diaz, but he fires the ball into Arsenal bodies. And the ball's like a hot potato. Arsenal can't get hold of it. Gabriel Martinelli does so now and goes all the way back to Ramsdale, who plays it out to Kieran Tierney, who tries to clear his lines, but it's deflected off one of the Liverpool attackers and it's out for a throw-in for Arsenal. Very frantic, and Liverpool coming out, pressing Arsenal. Everybody realises what an important game it is. Thomas Partey brings a bit of composure to Arsenal. Like I said, now Odegaard runs into the Arsenal half, plays the ball to Saka, but he just misjudges the timing of it, and Andy Robertson is there to intercept for Liverpool, and the referee judges that Martin Odegaard was a bit too robust on Robertson. And it's a free kick to Liverpool, much to the anger and disgust of the Arsenal players. Still, I can see plenty of goals in this game tonight. No way is it going to be a 0-0 draw. Say that, and I'm probably jinxed it. Kieran Tierney plays a header to Gabriel Martinelli, who turns, spins, and Ben White gets the first touch of the ball. So it's Suarez to Ben White to Bukayo Saka, and miscontrols the ball, and I think it might have been out for a throw anyway. Regardless, it's a defeat of Alisson for Liverpool. Alisson out to Joe Matip. Mane comes short, spins away from Gabriel, who Mane attempts to play through the Arsenal midfield and does so, but fortunately for Arsenal, the referee comes back and says that the advantage has to be upheld. So we have a free kick to Liverpool. Lacazette throws the ball backwards as if to tell Liverpool that they're cheating and to get back where the offence occurred. Virgil van Dijk plays the ball out in front of him, spins on the ball and goes to the side to Andy Robertson. Luis Diaz, Virgil van Dijk, who opens up the play, plays the ball in the direction of Trent, who sloppily lets it run out of control front to Arsenal. Kieran Tierney enters the throwing into the field. Martinelli miscontrolled in the midfield. Swept up by Thiago Alcantara, who finds himself on the ball again. And Liverpool build. And then Robertson back to Virgil van Dijk. who goes inside to Fabinho, and Liverpool spread it slowly, but oh, that's a bit of a simmy ball from Robertson, putting Van Dijk under pressure. But he's a cool customer on Liverpool play out in the other direction. Joe Matip at one ball at the feet of Tierney. Tierney's horrendous possession, and Liverpool play it forward. Oh, and Luis Diaz advances, and Aaron Ramsdale forced to come to the edge of his area and cleaves away under heavy pressure. And it's all a bit panicky in defence for Arsenal at the moment, but great anticipation by Ramsdale to get there. Had he differed and only come halfway, he could have easily been lobbed over him. Liverpool really dictating the terms in the early stages, as maybe you probably would expect. Thiago Alcantara attempts to pick a pass, cleared up by Ben White to Thomas Partey, and Arsenal look as though they could do a howler any second and fall victim to Liverpool's high press. I think they just need to temporarily play for the thirds and just to say that Ramsdale clears the ball all the way downfield. Headed away by Liverpool, but Gabriel Martinelli played onto the ball, but from the long range pass from Ramsdale. Anyway, there's somehow a free kick to Liverpool inside their own half to be taken by Trent. Trent, diagonal, attempted pass to Andy Robertson, intercepted by Cedric Suarez. Thomas Partey now plays a wonderful ball to beside Bukayo Saka, who runs at Van Dijk. Saka crosses the ball, and it's not quite off the line, but it's a good job for Liverpool to get found ahead of Joe Matip, because the shot was almost kind of into the floor by Martinelli, but it was goal bound, but for the interception. That's the right idea for Arsenal, being concise and sharp in what they do, and getting the ball from back to front as quickly as possible seems to be sort of a sensible idea against Liverpool, although a shame for Arsenal that they don't have the central pace of Aubameyang anymore to exploit the Liverpool line anyway. Trent Alexander-Arnold now to Mane to Henderson. Henderson thinks about an early pass, but goes back to Mane. Mane tries to change the angle. Mane through to Trent. It looks to me like Mane was offside there, and I think the officials agree. One punch upfield from Ramsdale, out of play after a bit of grappling from Saka and Robertson, throwing to Liverpool. Fabinho plays it up Partey, again throwing to Liverpool. Liverpool much more composed than ever getting side early on. I'll be honest, I have a bit of a soft spot for Man United, so for Man United's reasons, who need all the help they can get, I really do want Liverpool to preferably win this. Alcantara out to Joe Matip. Joe Matip plays a long first time ball that harmlessly trickles through to Aaron Ramsdale. both of them need to take a bit more care about what they're doing with the ball. Aaron Ramsdale pleads for movement with his arms from the Arsenal team and then move up after he signals them to do so, almost into the path of Saka, but Kuba's a cucumber. Andy Robertson heads it back and warms the palms of Alisson. Virgil van Dijk to Robertson, who goes back to Van Dijk, who spreads it to Matip, back to Alisson. And to be honest, it's quite surprising how slow the tempo just is at the moment. Both teams taking it steady. Now that'll be a foul by Sadio Mane, who tries to unfeel Gabriel before he can spin away from him. Free kick to Arsenal, taken by Xhaka, back to Gabriel. Gabriel back to White, who divers on the ball for a moment, but plays the ball to Bukayo Saka. But that's not good for Bukayo Saka because he's not 6'6". Liverpool sweep it up for Van Dijk and Robertson. And Robertson stretches his legs briefly, plays it to Thiago Alcantara. Jordan Henderson changes the angle out to Trent. Trent's pass is misdirected and doesn't find Mane, and the attack fizzles out. Liverpool are obviously going to miss Salah, but I don't know why. A year ago, imagine if they were without Salah, but the squad depth with Diaz and Jota has increased like tenfold on what it was. Cedric Suarez puts one ball to Martinelli, who takes Matip for a spin, and as Martinelli spins away from Matip, Matip treads on Martinelli's toes. No free kick, no advantage played, and Martinelli seems to be alright. Kieran Tierney headed down for Martinelli, who gets away from Trent. Martinelli plays a lovely low cross into the box, and it's palmed out of harm's way by Alisson, and now Jordan Henderson stretches his legs to Diego Jota. There was a bit of a wrestling match for a moment there between Granit Xhaka and Sadio Mane, but to no avail because the offside flag goes up. Trent, much too easily, as much as I think Trent's world class in attack, Trent is much too easily evaded there by Gabriel Martinelli. But for Andy Robertson anticipating a clearance and going with the ball instead of his man, it would have been 1-0 to Arsenal. Wonderful ball by Martinelli and almost a goal out of nothing. Trent must improve in defence at least if he's to be going to right back. Anyway, back to the game now. Martinelli to Kieran Tierney, who surveys his options, but negatively goes back to Gabriel. Then White back to Gabriel. Arsenal coming into the game more and more, but still, I don't trust the defenders that much on the ball when you've got the hungry Liverpool attackers around. Cedric Suarez to Odegaard, comes short but plays himself into trouble, and now Luis Diaz is able to bullet Cedric. It's a bullet. I'll just say Suarez because I keep scooping over it, but anyway. Arsenal penned somewhat into their own half, and Cedric is all calling for Maes to take the throw-in. Again, he holds the ball and pleads for Arsenal players to make movements to allow him an option on the ball. There isn't any, and it's back with Liverpool. Virgil van Dijk plays it now to Alisson. Yeah, not a great deal happening. It's a bit of a game of chess just at this minute, but it'll liven up. Alisson can't ball out to Virgil van Dijk. Andy Robertson. Liverpool just trying to move Arsenal out of the shape by moving it quite often from side to side. Nothing on for Jordan Henderson though. Very more tempo until Thiago spreads it across field past to Trent Alexander-Arnold, but Kieran Tierney intervenes before there's any danger, and Arsenal come away. Intercepted though by Liverpool. Alexander Lacazette runs out of steam, and Liverpool come forward to attack through Jordan Henderson, but the momentum is soon lost, and Arsenal are back in the shape. Joe Matip. Jordan Henderson again feints the cross, but doesn't. Gives it to Trent, who whips the ball in, and it comes off the outstander, and Liverpool build again. It seems like Arsenal understandable playing very much like the away team and relying almost exclusively on the counter-attack. Sadio Mane throws himself to the ground like an Olympic diver on the edge of the area, wanting a free kick, and if he's not been touched, why is that not a red card? Because he absolutely went over like a sack of potatoes, and I think he was absolutely trying to corner the referee by the look of it. It's either a dive or he was fouled. He's not just fallen over, has he? And he wasn't even touched, referee. That's the yellow card. Don't be giving into his name. Diego Jota for Liverpool played forward into the path of Trent, but wonderful defensive awareness by Martinelli for Arsenal, who intercepts the run of Trent and then shuffles the ball back safely to Ramsdale. Almost 20 minutes gone. Kieran Tierney opens his legs for Arsenal before running out of options and playing it all the way back to Gabriel. I thought he could have played a first time ball to Martinelli there. Odegaard to Gabriel, almost like walking football at times. It's not a regular tempo. Partey to Lacazette, who Arsenal don't want to be seen on their own halfway line. But now, opportunity for Saka to get on the end of the long ball, and he very nearly did, but Alisson mops up and Liverpool come forward at the other end, but the first time pump forward from Robertson is misguided. Both teams playing with a very, very high defensive line, so that means that goals could come about quickly. Not necessarily going to be about intricate build-up play tonight. More about who can get the finer margins of the defending right and which attackers are going to exploit the space most. And you have to say, you fancy Liverpool to come out on top. They play using this defensive method every week. So it's Suarez to Saka when neatly to Partey retains the ball under the attentions of Fabinho, but now Daniel with Martinelli, but he's crowded out by a combination of Firmino and Trent. Martinelli goes dancing with Trent, but Trent guides him away from danger, and Martinelli is unable to cross the ball, so Arsenal go back and change the angle. Granit Xhaka with a raking pass out to Saka, who brings the ball under control, plays it in field to settle it to Suarez, who lets fly, but it's a turn effort and it's about 10 yards wide. Great move by Arsenal, the best that they've put together so far, but no end product. Perhaps I would have liked to have seen Saka there skim Robertson down the inside and advance into the penalty area himself and try and invite the foul or something. Safe option to go back to Suarez, and it didn't work. Van Dijk, Robertson, Luis Diaz loses possession. Thiago tries to run onto the ball but can't quite control it properly, and it's out of play for a throw to Arsenal, who appear to be gaining a foothold in the game, like increasingly by the minute. After a bright start for Liverpool in the first 10, Saka to Partey to Suarez and White. Excellent from Partey. Everything good from Arsenal is coming through him in midfield. He's making them tick, and now Martinelli runs it to Henderson and Trent. Tierney on the ball now, shuffles away from the attentions of two Liverpool defenders, but can't get his ball in. It's a terrible miss kick. Diego Jota feels like he's been fouled after being slidden on, but the referee says no, and Saka has it on the other side, but he goes ice skating and loses footing, and the ball rotates quickly to Luis Diaz, and the ball appears to stick to Luis Diaz's foot like a magnet. Like there's absolutely no getting it off, and that was so cool how we beat 4 men. A free kick to Liverpool for a nothing challenge by Lacazette on Fabinho. Arsenal are aggrieved and don't feel like they're getting the decisions of the referee. They're pissed off and they're all giving them an earful, and no surprise is it that it's Granit Xhaka leading the protests. Free kick to Liverpool win inside their own half to be taken by Virgil van Dijk. Thiago to Matip to Van Dijk. Just feel like maybe this Liverpool midfield is a bit stiff in the centre. I'm surprised that maybe Harvey Elliott or Curtis Jones are playing instead. And it's surprising to see Jordan Henderson vacating the central area and playing with a lot of width. How can you get like to the end of your career a bit the most progressive you've ever been? Anyway, Trent plays the ball to Diego Jota, and we're on the edge of the area with Liverpool again for Trent. Misguided pass. Trent again through to Diego Jota, who plays the ball off to Sadio Mane, but he miscontrols the ball, and that narrows the angle for him. But all of a sudden, Liverpool were truly pinning Arsenal in their own half. Arsenal are on the ropes for Trent plays a pass that Stevie Wonder would quickly, and all that momentum for Liverpool is relieved. Not a good start by Trent, really, but he has assisted a goal every 2 games almost throughout throughout the season. It's one assist every other game, so you can never count him out. Again, it comes back at Arsenal, though, unable to retain it at Arsenal because, like I said, can't hold the ball up. Not with the company of Van Dijk and Matip. Partey crowded out by 3 Liverpool men, but his tenacity wins the day, and Suarez back to Ramsdale and plays a short range pass to the cool Partey, but not on the same wavelength for Cedric Suarez, and Liverpool swarm Arsenal. Robertson to Luis Diaz. Back in the defensive third now with Van Dijk. Thiago to Henderson. Matip back to Thiago. Robertson crosses, flicked on by Jota in the direction of the goal, but no hand done. Blocked by Ben White in the Arsenal defence. Arsenal kind of kicking it anywhere, really. Anywhere will do kind of approach, which won't really be beneficial to Arsenal over a 90-minute game. Not a great deal going on at the moment. Both teams harried and rash in possession. Someone needs to put a foot on the ball. Robertson plays it forward but loses it again. Xhaka with an excellent interception. Tierney over the head of Trent. Martinelli was bearing down on goal, but Alisson snuffs out danger. And again, it's these defence splitting simple balls over the top of defence where all the pressure and likely chances are coming from. Martinelli again has a chance to open his legs and does so, but this time comes in field, uses the outlet of Suarez, Saka. Saka hasn't been on great form for a few weeks, and you can tell it's not at his most confident. A few months ago, he was taking the challenge up, but it's just tonight and in the last few weeks, it seems like Odegaard or Martinelli or bust for Arsenal. Ben White, nice ball at Saka. Come on, Saka, bring me. Oh no, terrible ball. Too much weight on it to Odegaard. And Van Dijk and Alisson almost get themselves in a muddle as to who was gonna come for the ball. Split second miscommunication by Liverpool, but it doesn't matter. It's safe, and Robertson comes forward. Diego Jota plays it off to Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz loses his composure, but and coming together between Ben White and Jota throwing to Liverpool, and I'm not sure how it got there. Ball chased down by Andy Robertson. Goal kick to Arsenal. 2-0 to Spurs. The bipolar episodes of Tottenham continue. Never know what you're gonna get. They're either amazing or shit Spurs. Anyway, Aaron Ramsdale inspects his studs before booting the ball as far as he can in the field. Wonderful control on his chest by Saka before it bobbles away from him. Saka into Odegaard, into Party, into Gabriel. Excellent hold-up play and upper body slam by Lacazette. Played forward to Martinelli. Panic clearance at the centre of the Liverpool defence. And a very useful effort by Granit Xhaka that just drops. Tantalisingly wide for Arsenal, but that really is the best football in the match. Excellent by Lacazette and Martinelli. Clearance by Robertson to Lacazette. And a lovely confident effort with the instep by Xhaka that just drops 1.5 feet wide of the post. Up the other end, Ben White tries to avoid the ball going out to play, but he does terrifically for Arsenal and he invites a challenge by Sadio Mane who bundles him to the ground. Great speed. Surely it's about time now that Ben White got himself in the England squad. He's on much better form than any of the other England centre-backs, and you could see a great partnership blossoming between John Stones and Ben White if England were to revert away from playing free at the back, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, one goal kick. Lacazette has come to life, handles fantastically in earning Arsenal a throw-in, even though Van Dijk has a height advantage on him. He's been made to work for everything by Lacazette suddenly. Arsenal are beginning, which could be, it's always a sign that something good's going to happen to you in a game if that can happen. Liverpool just on the back foot for the moment. Cedric Suarez, defensive header by Van Dijk. No free kick to Liverpool for the challenge on Mane. You can see Jurgen Klopp going berserk in the background. I love Klopp, but he's something of a mad-ass sulker. And Klopp's going absolutely ballistic at a fourth official because the decisions are not going his way. To be fair, it was definitely 100% a foul on Mane by Cedric. Don't know what the referee's not seeing there, not to give that one. But anyway, not going to change his mind now, Jurgen. Excellent play by Tierney to get his body in the way of Diaz to get the ball back to Ramsdale when it looked like Diaz had the run on him. Deceptively fast Tierney. Ben White by the back to Cedric. Odegaard changes the angle because he thought about playing an only one pass that was blind. Back to Ramsdale, and now we have a bit of a game of head tennis for the minute until Xhaka plays a great diagonal pass to Martinelli, and Martinelli now with the option to run away from Trent and he's away from Trent. He checks back inside to Xhaka, to Saka, and Saka's feet just can't keep up with him fast enough to bring the pass from Martinelli under control, and it's a bit sloppy from Saka. Um, and Liverpool, to be honest, are let off the hook. I love Smith Rowe, but like Martinelli is absolutely full of those like Brazilian street kid skills. It's just like watching a kid play football in the playground. You never know what he's going to do next. Saka misplaces his pass to Cedric, and it simply isn't Saka's night, is it? Not at the moment, anyway. It's nobody's night. In truth, it's a poor game of football with a lack of quality. Cedric provides a cross that doesn't make it to Architect because Van Dijk gets there with his head. Partey, who's been the best player on the pitch besides Martinelli, to Tierney, who debates running with it. Xhaka, Partey, is he going to do one of his 50-yard shots like he does? Oh, Liverpool come on the break, and Gabriel misses his challenge on Luis Diaz, but the momentum's lost because Liverpool didn't have players in support. Trent to Diaz again. Liverpool a bit static, don't want themselves. Arsenal really, all honesty, will be delighted. They've not enjoyed that much of the ball, but Ramsdale has only been called into action once. And what's clear to me is that Arsenal are losing that tag of now not being able to turn up and give good performances against the big teams. They played great against City and they're playing great against Liverpool now. Terrible hospital pass from Jota to Trent, and Trent fails to control it, and all he can do is nod the ball out for another throw into Arsenal. Frustration for Liverpool, and this half has gone by in a flash without really anything happening. Thiago back to Matip, back to Liverpool more backwards. Although it only takes a second to score a goal with the abundant talent that they have. Matip to Anderson through to Diaz. Trent with the first time whip ball, one of his better ones that we've seen so far. Away for Arsenal, but it breaks down and it's back with Henderson, who dinks the ball out to Arsenal and gets the ball first. Not fully cleared, and Saka gets more distance from the field for Arsenal, but back with the ball come. Really important for Arsenal after all this hard work. They just see the game out for these next 5 minutes. Matip, Trent, excellent cross from Trent. Cedric has to know how to play for a corner to Arsenal because he has no idea as to who was behind him, and there was somebody behind him. Mane would have been right onto that if Cedric didn't do the safety first thing. Corner to Liverpool. Feel like Liverpool have had about 5 corners so far, and Arsenal yet to have one. Trent over the ball. Trent onto the head of Gabriel. Thiago falls over the top of his man and into the arms of Ramsdale. It's a pitch long all the way for Allison. And they were scrapping in the midfield for a moment. Excellent innovation and positivity by Ramsdale, but he just slightly overcooks that ball to Martinelli, who would have been away through and bearing down on goal if he would have been able just to set off his stride sooner to control it. Gabriel, that looked to be a foul on him, but no. Liverpool on the ball with Trent, who tries one of his defence splitting passes, but a fantastic positional header by Ben White gets in the way of what could have been a goal scoring chance for Arsenal. That's the best intervention that he's had to make all half. And I think that one could have led to a goal for Mane. Anyway, we have a throw for Liverpool with Trent, who begs for movement from his teammates, and there isn't much. So he throws it, and it's on the head of Partey for Arsenal. Arsenal would have had the ball, but Alexander Lacazette slips over like he's ice skating, and Liverpool are in possession with Andy Robertson. Andy Robertson's passing has been quite abysmal tonight so far, and yet again he gives it away. Kieran Tierney on the opposite flank puts the ball in, cleared away by Robertson, who's cleared to no one in particular by Fabinho. Not much rhythm in the game, and this is suiting Arsenal so very much at this minute. A lot of players that are just not being mentioned. Meanwhile, Xhaka and Robertson fight for the ball, and Arsenal come up on top there. Alexander Lacazette would have got a shot away, but for the interception unblocked by Fabinho. And Liverpool come and Trent Alexander-Arnold has split the defence with a pass to Mane, who gets in between the Arsenal defenders. But Mane is unable to keep his composure, and it's a challenge that comes in on him, a clean challenge, I think, by Gabriel, that scrambles the ball away to safety by Arsenal. For Arsenal, sorry. Terrific defending, but Mane guilty of a heavy touch, and just before he could steady himself to hit it, it was 0-0. Sorry, danger was averted, and that's it. That's half time, folks. 0-0. As usual, I'm going to shut up in a break and have a cup of tea. And I'll speak to you in about 10 minutes as we get nearer to the start of the second half. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. If you've already subscribed, like the channel, and feel free to come back in before we get underway for the second half. Thank you for the like, whoever that is. I've got such a dry mouth. I've been talking in school for a couple hours today, talking again tonight, and I can feel my voice going. Ah, and not the game I was expecting. I expected probably at least 2 or 3 goals in the first half, but it's been cagey. Maybe much of that has to do with, the incentive for Liverpool to win, to cut the gap to City to just 1 point. And I'm still to get away from United and West Ham equally. It's equally it's important for both teams, and I'm afraid you might just be telling it this time of the season, but who knows? Can't see it ending up in a draw. More sour probably on the pitch if there's not been a goal in the first half an hour for Liverpool. And yeah. I just want to say, if possible, I'd absolutely love to get to 150 subscribers on the channel by the time the football season properly comes to its close in May. So at the end of May, another sort of 10 weeks, if I could get another 38 subscribers from the 112 that I'm on now, I will be happy as a picking shit, because the growth that I've seen since I've started providing regular content like all the time in the last 6 weeks, to get like 70 odd subscribers after I had the channel lying dormant for 2 years, it'd just be absolutely bloody amazing. So if you can do that, that'd be absolutely lovely. If you don't, if you're a school kid and you don't subscribe and you've got an account on YouTube, then you're gonna get a after school detention for talking tomorrow when it weren't even you that were talking. If you're going to work tomorrow and your girlfriend's making your butties, you're gonna have like jam butties or spam butties. It won't be proper ham, it'll be some horrible salami or one cheese slice between two butties. Your dinner will be horrible. Your petrol is gonna go up to like £1.99 a litre. So if you don't want bad things to happen to you in your day tomorrow, just please hit the like and the subscribe button. And when you do this, you'll get top marks for your homework. You'll have a pot noodle in your butter box. And your team's going to avoid relegation if you're a Burnley fan. So, yeah, just help out the channel any way you can, and I'll be chuffed to bits. Thank you, Pete. You have a nice evening too. I will start speaking again in a few minutes as we approach the second half. Just watching a McDonald's advert on telly, and whoever does the sort of artwork for McDonald's deserves millions of pounds, because McDonald's burgers were absolutely mouthwatering on telly, and when you go to McDonald's in real life, the burger usually looks like something that your dog's thrown up. Such a difference in what you see and what you think when you see the adverts compared to the reality of what you get in your brown bag. Madness. Anyway, that's my little rant for the day. Finished my cup of tea now, so I've got some voice back. And I just thought we'd see a better game. Our prediction for the game is 2-1 to Liverpool in the second half. I think Arsenal might score first, but I back Liverpool to keep going to the end. And yeah, I just think Liverpool's name will be on the tie. Klopp will tell them how good they are and give them a rocket at that time, and we'll come back and see a much more intense Liverpool in the second half, I hope. Just both teams are just they look tired, really. And that's always going to be the problem with this time of the season. This is why I think genuinely that there are three worst teams in the Premier League, apparently, but that the volume of games that we've got with 5 or 6 games, however many it is in April, might just kill us as we get to the end of the season, especially if we're not having much squad depth. And now I can see Salah and Keita and Curtis Jones warming up for Liverpool, and how long is Klopp going to give the players that started this half to make amends, if you like. Well, not make amends, but turn up, because he's got so many options on the bench. I bet it's Salah and Jones will be on the pitch with at least half an hour to go if they don't pick up in the second half. Of either players come again, Liverpool out first. Looks like it's raining in London, which might pick the pace of the ball moving over the pitch up a little bit. Virgil van Dijk looks a bit mean and ready for business. That Liverpool away kit is absolutely minging. Like, if I had a little kid who said, Dad, I want that Liverpool away shirt, if they were 6-year-old, even if they were 6-year-old, I'd make them save up. I just say, right, I'm not buying you that one because it's disgusting me. If you want it, you're going to have to save up your pocket money for 52 weeks. And by the time you've got it together, you won't even be able to find it anymore because it's horrible, really. A lot of football kits are just dreadful these days. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox. We're back underway with game. And the first start to the second half is a long clearance by Ramsdale, taken down by Cedric to Saka, but Saka straight about 3 yards offside, and still he doesn't want with it, so it's a free kick to Liverpool, which will be taken by Virgil van Dijk. Back to Alisson. He plays it long, the ball's in the air. Sadio Mane brings it down, goes infield and back. Andy Robertson, Diego Jota, Chris Paul to Anderson, and Sadio Mane 1-on-1. This Liverpool split the defensive line, but the linesman says it's offside. The ball's in the net, but it will not count. Let's have a look at how tight or otherwise it is. The most intricate move of football we've had. Great pass by Anderson, but it does appear that it's going to be one of those. Well, I think he had 1 foot offside, probably before VAR. It's not offside, but I don't think that's going to be overturned. Excellent football, excellent idea from Liverpool, and a mighty, mighty big warning sign for Arsenal, but they live and survive somehow. As soon as Liverpool turn up and play quickly and don't differ, they're in, and that's the result. Anyway, Martinelli dispossessed by Thiago, forward pass by somebody to Liverpool, and well, Liverpool have come out like a wounded animal in the second half. They look different, they're fired up. They're now all of a sudden winning the 50-50 bombs. And if Arsenal don't wake up in a matter of moments, they're going to be punished. Surprise, surprise, that raking pass down the field for Diego Jota. was by Trent, who took out 4 players and played it about 60 yards with such precision. And Liverpool were unfortunate that their was just to commit a foul free kick. Long ball by Ramsdale. Arsenal win the second ball for the party. Arsenal now with Saka and now later with Odegaard. Party to Cedric. The momentum is lost, but the ball remains with Arsenal through Gabriel. Martinelli has the opportunity to run at Trent. Sends him a merry dance. Still with Martinelli who jumps back. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful play by Martinelli. Jinking this way and that like a dancer on a tightrope. So much composure and he knows what he's doing. He knows his next 2 passes ahead of well, not passes, but moves ahead of him before he does it. Anyway, on the other end of the penalty area, the guard stands the ball up just slightly in front of Lacazette. Lacazette can't get on the end of it, and Alisson gathers for Liverpool. Martinelli took it away from through the legs of Henderson, takes it past Trent like he's not there, and almost scores by putting it through the legs of, I think it was Robertson, but Liverpool have a chance to reply now with Robertson. Thiago to Henderson. Momentum lost, Arsenal back in the shape. Thiago White Matip stretches his legs for a moment, plays an attempted cross into Granit Xhaka, who's shoved to the floor by Henderson. Xhaka falls on the floor. Henderson says he balled it, referee says free kick to Arsenal. Again, it's a bitty game, not much real rhythm to it. Too many free kicks and things. Wonderful anticipation and control on his pass, and it's with our mate Martinelli again. This time Trent does his defensive job and stops him getting a shot away. His play to Partey, and Partey fires from the edge of the area into the crowd of Liverpool defenders in the box. And oh my goodness me, what a fuck up from Liverpool in defence. But the greater fuck up is by Odegaard. Oh my goodness me. Well, it should be 1-0 to Arsenal, and I can't decide whether that's a massive fluff by Odegaard or a magnificent save by Alisson. Nevertheless, corner to Arsenal, and I'll reflect more on that in a minute. Corner punched away by Alisson, and the turn effort on the edge of the Arsenal area by Saka gives Alisson a gentle catch. Liverpool really on the ropes there. I don't know how they survive. But now Trent has done one of those long-range passes down the right side, and it was at the feet of Luis Diaz before he's unceremoniously nudged off the ball by Suarez and free kick. Liverpool have a free kick in Arsenal territory, more or less in the position it's the same difference between a corner and a free kick. And we're about to see a very early and office. Sorry, apparently my internet is bubbling up. Don't know why that's happened, don't know what the problem. Maybe we've got a bit of wind outside or something, but hopefully he's still with me and you can hear me okay. Please comment in the chat to let me know whether you can or can't hear me. Anyway, on with the game, and we have Virgil van Dijk plays it to Fabinho and has a bit of space in front of him. 8 minutes into the second half, it's been much more lively in the first 8 minutes than the whole of the first half was. Luis Diaz with his low centre of gravity thinks about having a run but decides against it. Fabinho out to Joe Matip, who spreads it out wide in the defensive third to Robertson. Robertson to Van Dijk. Thiago Alcantara. Defense splitting pass to. Oh, well, it's 1-0 to Liverpool. What a shot by Diego Jota. I didn't see any danger coming. I don't know whether it's an unbelievable effort or, well, the camera goes to Aaron Ramsdale and it looks as though he has a guilty look on his face, like he should have done better. It looks like it's gone underneath Ramsdale, but it's assisted by Thiago. The ball is played in between. I think it was Xhaka and White. Ramsdale beaten at his near post. He gets a hand to it, but I don't know quite how he's allowed Jota to squeeze it in from that angle. And I do sort of want Aaron Ramsdale to become the England number one goalkeeper. I think he's absolutely fabulous. But as much as it's a good cheeky finish, Sugar Ramsdale can do better with his angles there. And he gets a hand to it, but it's not enough. Liverpool take an early lead in the second half, and that appears to be the last start to the match for Diego Jota, who Luis Diaz leaves the field as well to be replaced by Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino. So Liverpool take the lead, and now they give it over to their experienced heads who've been here 1,000 times before to go and complete the job. Arsenal now are going to have to come out and play a bit more, which leaves them very vulnerable to, Liverpool are probably the worst team, obviously, apart from to go behind to. Play by Ramsdale, and Ramsdale's rocking. There's a clearance by Ramsdale that's charged down by Firmino, and it could have very nearly, but for a bit of luck, if it would have hit him hard, have bounced over him, and Liverpool would be 2 up in as many minutes. Arsenal ragged. Ramsdale needs to get that slight error out of his head. Played forward by Ben White and attempts to turn Liverpool around, but it doesn't work. Van Dijk sees it coming, and Liverpool at the moment faster to the second ball. That is until the referee says that Joe Matip has fouled Granit Xhaka. Free kick to Liverpool inside the outside half of the field. Problem is, what have Arsenal really got on the bench? When you look firepower-wise, it's such a mismatch between what the teams can call upon to change the game. Smith Rowe and Nketiah compared to Salah and Firmino. Great idea from Arsenal for the free kick, just not anticipated by Lacazette. And Liverpool come away again. Now it's with Trent, who plays a wonderful crossfield pass to Robertson, and Robertson's cross hits what appears to be the shoulder of Cedric, and it's out for a set piece which will undoubtedly be delivered by Robertson to the corner for Liverpool, actually headed away by White to Salah, and that's a 10 points job from Salah, who snatches it winning back, and it goes high and wide into the Liverpool fans for about a goal. What a spectacular, well, yeah, sorry, but Ramsdale gets his ankles all wrong and he has to do better, and even then it's the weekend. So it's the first time he's been truly culpable for an Arsenal goal that I'm aware of. I don't think the save from Alisson was the best. Don't know what that was all about. His steward just randomly run on the pitch. I think some kid probably wanted a selfie with his favourite player. Martinelli on the edge of the Liverpool area, but crowded out. Teeing it to Martinelli again, backwards from Xhaka. Gabriel doesn't have anywhere to play the ball without risking losing it in the Liverpool crowd. Ramsdale. It looks like now that there's like 15 Liverpool players on the pitch compared to the Arsenal players. It's like Arsenal don't appear to have options for the man on the ball. Excellent ball though, and Partey Bones. Martinelli ran Bones away from Trent, but Martinelli mistimed his run and wanders back from an offside position, and that is sloppy and lets Liverpool off the hook. Free kick to Liverpool. 60 minutes gone. This game simply will not finish 1-0. Liverpool will either go on and get a second or a third, or Arsenal will rescue it. My money will be on Liverpool extending the lead at the moment, though. Just to say that it's going to play by Gabriel for Arsenal, kind of an unforced error, and Trent starts the game again, throwing Salah with Arsenal and somehow lost possession for Gabriel. It's turned back to Salah, and it's a spectacular save as it's on the line by Ramsdale. And that is heightened the mind still for Arsenal, but Robertson now runs into the area with opportunity to cross, and it's 2-0 to Liverpool. There's an overload. Bobby Firmino, about 3 minutes after coming on the pitch, goes to give Liverpool fans a cuddle, and Liverpool are going top of the league, and I believe this will be another Liverpool title win if they can keep the momentum up. 2-0, they've had a rocket from Klopp at half time, and they've come out and they've delivered the performance of a champion so far in the second half. Excellent stuff. There was, it's a terrible mistake from Gabriel. Guilty of overplaying on the edge of his own area. Poor clearance from Partey. Rifled in, hit against Saka. Saka's attempted clearance of the pitch is charged down by Robertson. Arsenal are overloaded. Saka's out of position, and Partey loses his footing, and it's just squirting home from very close range, 2 or 3 yards, underneath the body of Ramsdale, who can't do anything about it because it's so close to him. Nice to see the Liverpool fans all jumping on the unsung hero really for Fabinho. He doesn't get the credit of the Salahs, the Jota, the Mane, and the Diaz, but he's scored some goals for them. And I just love it. So the knobhead of a referee's giving me a yellow card for showing some passion and making people's day by jumping into the crowd. But sort of, what does it matter? Arsenal all of a sudden look very ragged and could end up getting a bit of a pasting here if they don't fix up the right because they're going to be caught between chasing the game and not exposing themselves. And again, Liverpool on the turnover. Excellent first time pass from Henderson. Almost plays Southampton for a one-on-one. But Ramsdale sees it coming and comes off his line in a flash and temporarily averts the danger for Arsenal and just about keeps the game alive. Probably over at 2-0, at 3-0. Arsenal might as well park a red London double-decker bus on the goal line because, Liverpool, once they get one or two, they don't stop. They're not like City who take mercy and play the ball around. Liverpool are absolutely ruthless in attack. Liverpool still intensely pressing like it's 1-0. Chalk and cheese from them between the first and second half. Liverpool absolutely bopping. Now it's Mane. Mane goes for the challenge from Cedric. And Mane has Cedric and Saka to beat. And it almost goes for a corner before a lucky bobble for Arsenal gets it to Cedric. And away to Saka. Arsenal switch the play. Martinelli goes in field with his twinkle toes feet to Gabriel. And I just simply don't think that Arsenal are going to have the clinical edge or the manpower to do anything to wrestle the initiative away now. Very rare that you see Liverpool surrender the lead when they get into a commanding position like this. Not with the likes of Van Dijk and Matip and the players who just love to keep rotating the ball in midfield. Far easier to see 3 and 4-0 to Liverpool than it is to all. Joe Matip, legs, Trent, safe ball back to Henderson, back to Van Dijk, who plays it to Thiago, who now spreads the play to Salah. And Salah gets on the end of the ball and he can stand it up now, running at Tierney. And a chipped ball, too long and over the head of everybody. Goal kick. More Salah's having a temporary dip in form, but look at how good Liverpool still are without the very best this time on. So, Smith Rowe, Arsenal's leading goal scorer and leading assist maker, is on the pitch for the last of the game, and he replaces the man who kicks him out to the side. The absolutely imperious Odegaard on Sunday has failed to have the influence that he did against Leicester, but there was a huge step up in class between Liverpool and Leicester. And Ramsdale, I love him, but he's making mistake after mistake, and he's now surrendered possession, clearing his ball out of play, throwing to Liverpool. Having said that now, sloppy play from Fabinho out of play, and it's a throw to Arsenal. Thomas Partey, Emil Smith-Rowe can't get his ball through, but it comes to Cedric. Here comes infield near the edge of the penalty area, Kieran Tierney. accurate sweeping ball to Martinelli, who runs at Trent. Trent stands his ground, sends Martinelli infield. Martinelli attempts to switch the play, and Arsenal could be caught on a turnover and almost would have been but for a very diligent challenge by Ben White. Mane rather would have been bearing down on goal if White didn't get that challenge right. Mane parries or spreads the play excellently to White. Martinelli has a chance to burn Trent, but goes inside to Xhaka. Ben White to Cedric. Saka with an opportunity to spread his legs. Goes to Smith Rowe, who plays it back into Salah. Saka with a cross. Shot by Smith Rowe blocked. Heavy clearance by Matip, and already Arsenal with the fresh legs of Smith Rowe probably best pass of the match, or one of them there by Gabriel, and Martinelli now has the option to skin Trent alive, but not to be. Trent doing better as the game goes on and standing up to his man and not letting him have his own way. Back in field with Ben White, Cedric, looping ball, miscontrolled header by Tierney, but Liverpool unable to capitalise, and they collect the second ball. Joe Matic gets a foot in. Trent is Salah down to Firmino. Thomas Partey adjudged to have given Fabinho a hand in the face. I don't think he did. I think Fabinho's play acting and buying it. He's been watching too much of Atletico Madrid from last night, but no, actually, he kind of did slap him in the face, and definitely free kick to Liverpool. That was stung Fabinho's eyes. I were wrong. Trent back to Matip. Alisson to Van Dijk. Thiago, who snatches his legs away from Smith Rowe. Robertson to Mane. To Fabinho. Now out to Salah. Now on the overload, it's Henderson, but the angle is too narrow for Henderson to cross. Back with Salah back in field, and do Liverpool really want to be cruel on Arsenal and extend it more? Almost walked through the Arsenal defence there, did Matip, but somehow the referee takes pity on Arsenal and gives them a free kick. Joe Matip used to be absolutely dodgy and not good enough for Liverpool like 2 years ago, and now you would have an argument for saying that he's the most informed defender and probably been more influential to what they're about than Van Dijk this season. There's a wrestling match ensuing between Firmino and Lacazette. Lacazette gets the decision this time. Arsenal players sore losers and appealing for the booking when it's nothing more than just a free kick. Less than 20 minutes to go. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for making it worthwhile for me sitting here, spending my nights with you. Liverpool in possession. a lot of the tackles going to come down to that Man City game because Liverpool have good fixtures, favourable fixtures to come. Martinelli, excellent stuff. See, that was great physical strength by Trent. That is how he does it. He can do it. He gets his body in the way. Martinelli was away from him, but he just barges his man and guides the ball out wide. That's his upper body strength, and there is the development there in his game, and that's what we want to see because we can't have a world class crosser of a ball with fabulous passing, but in that defensively and a liability in defence playing for England. Nico Pepe, £70 million worth of a substitute, comes on to replace Arsenal's star Saka, who's just having a bit of a dip at the moment. I don't know whether he's tired, whether he's losing confidence, whether he's just a bit burnt out from too much football, but he's not himself, and that's the end of the game for Saka, and Pepe will probably flatter to deceive like usual, every trick, but no end product. Xhaka, Cedric Suarez into the box, almost under the head of Pepe, just after I've called him out. And I don't think anything would have happened anyway because Jordan Henderson's on the floor and the linesman has his flag up for a free kick to Liverpool. Oh no, Pepe was offside. Offside and a free kick. Great defending by Joe Matip, who led the fly to the ball. And Liverpool had possession with Van Dijk, who plays it first time out to Salah, who's now in field trying to run a rings around Xhaka. Does so. Xhaka tries to swap shirts with him because it's the only way he can stop Salah. And we have a free kick to Liverpool around the centre circle. And Arsenal really look a beaten team. Liverpool with all the rhythm and the momentum at this point. Nothing that Arteta can do from the bench to change the balance a bit either, I don't think. Miscontrol by Trent, but Martinelli on the ball in his defensive third, not where you want him. Hacked away. Joe Matip, the contender for the man of the match, wins the ball. Now it's Bobby Firmino to Trent, played off Kieran Tierney for a throw into Liverpool, and a real sense that Liverpool now beginning to run down the clock and Arsenal. Salah played against Martinelli, and you feel like the ball is going to spend more and more time inside the Liverpool half, inside the Arsenal half rather, as the clock ticks down. And Liverpool now have a corner, do they? Yeah, corner. Trent over the quadrant to whip the ball in. He's not had an assist yet tonight, so you can bet one of them might be well on its way. Trent, a way swinger to the head of Van Dijk, onto the chest of an Arsenal defender. Arsenal come away with it with Tierney, but Trent sees the direction of it and then speeds on the ball. And Liverpool, before he can say anything, are back in composed possession, playing it around the back with Matip. Now with Trent, who plays a progressive ball to Fabinho, who's a control, lets him down. Partey, Xhaka, Cedric, too much weight on the ball from Xhaka, almost intercepted by Andy Robertson, but not quite, and it's a defensive throw-in for Arsenal. Gabriel, nowhere to go. Partey struggled tonight to get a grip on the game like he did against Leicester. My personal choices for man of the match, I think it's going to have to be between Joe Matip and Fabinho for Liverpool. Martinelli has been Arsenal's best player all night long for sure, but he's just not. He's had to do too much of it by himself, in my opinion. Alisson with a long range goal clearance for Liverpool, taken down by Salah but played on to nobody in particular. Arsenal are about to commit suicide, and they do. Thiago plays into Salah, who now tries to stand up. Gabriel and Tierney, Liverpool come at them again. It's Trent. Now it's Henderson squares it to Salah. Salah back to Trent on the edge of uh, the area, and it's Robertson over cross out to play for a goal kick. But there's 3 or 4 here for Arsenal if they want it. That was a sloppy cross from Robertson. He had all sorts of attacking options there. See, this is where Arsenal are just now crumbling now. Since they've lost Aubameyang, they're now replacing Eddie Nketiah, and with due respect to Mr. Nketiah, the best thing that you can say about him is he's steady Eddie. He won't be a Premier League player when he gets into his mid-20s, in my opinion, of course. Salah is stronger than Gabriel, stronger than Tierney. He's going to invite the free kick. Oh no, Salah slightly overruns the ball, and it's a throw into Arsenal, but very much in the defensive part of the field where they're not causing Liverpool any damage. Clearance by Tierney, Joe Matip with an up and under for Liverpool, off the shins of Eddie Nketiah, throwing to Liverpool, and it feels like about 15 minutes since Arsenal had an attack. And Arsenal's agenda will turn to the next 2 games away at Villa and at home to Palace, because they won't be playing someone of the class of Liverpool all the time. Trent back inside to Van Dijk. Arsenal have absolutely no sort of energy. Well, there is a press, but it's a 2-man press by Eddie Nketiah and Emil Smith Rowe. The rest of the Arsenal players look like they're ready for a cold shower. The game's drifting towards an end, it seems. Oh no, Nico Pepe, he spreads his legs. He throws himself to the floor as though he's been shot, but the referee tells him to get up and stop being a convergent. Thiago Alcantara has just done a late foul on Thomas Partey, has he? Oh no, the referee's not interested. Oh no, Thomas Partey sat on his bum and protests to the referee, but no decision comes his way. 8 minutes left, game over. Don't think anything's going to happen, but I'll stay with you until the end. Cedric pirouettes away, but has nowhere to go. Gabriel splits the Liverpool defence, and it's Martinelli again running at Trent. Martinelli deceives himself, sits down on the ball, somehow keeps possession, plays a sloppy pass back to Granit Xhaka, who slides in on Salah, and possession is retained for Arsenal, but possession's the best you can say. The Liverpool goal is under absolutely no siege. Possession for possession's sake by Arsenal. Arsenal still not going anywhere with this. Smith Rowe and White. One reject Martinelli, who kind of is the only out ball. Xhaka stands on the ball, changes the angle to Ben White, thinks about finding Smith Rowe, but the height advantage of Van Dijk snubs out that. And Liverpool marauding forward this time now with Andy Robertson, brushes off the attention of Tierney and Cedric, misplaced pass by Robertson to Tierney, and Smith Rowe comes away with it for Arsenal. Teeing up Pepe and invites him to run, does so. At the end, Kedzi comes short, but has three Liverpool men for company. Pass by Smith Rowe into the Liverpool ranks at the back. Arsenal come back again, though. Fair play to him for being persistent. And just to say that, I think it's a misguided pass with too much height on it from Xhaka. Out of play for Liverpool, 5 minutes left. No urgency in the game. I think everybody knows which way it's going. If you're just coming in for the last few minutes, checking what I'm talking about, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It all helps me to be more confident in front of the camera and just show up better in the algorithm. Thank you. Sloppy pass from Tierney, but it's worked out alright for Arsenal, and Nico Pepe dances and jinks, slows it down to walking pace. Ben White has to go back to Gabriel, who will now go sideways to Tierney, and there's just no crispness in anything that Arsenal are doing, and it's become very much like a training game. And I'm tired, and I'm trying my best not to nod off live on air, to be honest, because this game has not quite been the end-to-end encounter that I thought it might be. But can we get a goal to talk about? And another goal. Free kick to Arsenal. Thiago Silva stands in the way of Cedric and stops him from taking it quickly. He's sure we're going to get booked as Thiago if he doesn't promptly fuck off and move the 10 yards back. Not much for Cedric to aim for Arsenal, and he plays it directly onto the head of the tyrant Virgil van Dijk. Arsenal surrender possession for Xhaka, who somehow gets it back. He plays a good pass this time out wide. Smith Rowe has a chance to run inside to Partey, to Xhaka, to Martinelli, and Martinelli with a fantastic sort of side foot effort that just goes very agonisingly wide of Alisson's post. Fabulous technique by Martinelli. What a player. And you've got to say that he does give you, not to put him on too much of a pedestal too early in his career, but his skill set does remind you of a youthful Thierry Henry when he first came to Arsenal. And look at the state of those empty seats in the Arsenal home end. They've all buggered off home for the kebabs and the other tube because it's half empty in the Emirates and the home end. So Arsenal fans have lost their faith. Sadio Mane buys a cheap free kick from Ben White, who looks confused, but it was a foul. And Curtis Jones is going to feel insulted by Jurgen Klopp coming on for all of 2 minutes. Coming on for all of 2 minutes, and he's going to have to run around, get himself soaking wet with sweat, and he's going to have to bother having a shower when he don't want to. But it's Premier League minutes, and Thiago has probably been the best of Liverpool's midfielders tonight. Certainly when it comes to breaking the lines and making the defence splitting passes, comes off to be replaced by the Scouser. For being able to Mane goes all the way back to Alisson. Liverpool just ticking the clock down. Mane's clearance hits Jones in the chest, but Liverpool win it back immediately on a turnover. Mane would have been in there with an opportunity to let a shot go, but he ruins it with his first touch. Arsenal come back again, but have to go all the way back. Ben White. Both teams playing at the time. Only 3 minutes of additional time. Not really the game that we thought we might be watching in terms of a spectacle, but very, very significant in what it does in terms of meaning that Manchester United are still on Arsenal's coattails for top four, and meaning that Man City not only can they feel Liverpool's breath on the neck, but they can kind of feel Liverpool just about to sink their teeth into the neck. And yeah, momentum's with Liverpool as we see the game playing out. Pepe, Partey, Tierney, but no angle for a cross. Martinelli running at Trent. Partey, Xhaka, and it's smothered by Alisson and goal for Liverpool. Rolls on the ball. He high-fives his defenders. They congratulate him, and we've got literally 1.5 minutes to go. Alisson volleys it downfield. There's about 5,000 people left in the Emirates by the look of it, and about 2,000 of them are Liverpool fans. This game's been over a long time ago for the last 25 minutes. Man of the match, Joe Matip for me, like I said. Fabinho, maybe best player for Arsenal. I'm gone. I'll shut up talking because Liverpool come again, and the ball is misjudged by Mane, who would have had an opportunity to bear down on goal, but it's played behind him because he went too soon. Martinelli, Arsenal's man of the match, but excellent by Trent, who stands his ground and bundles him off the ball, spins away from him to Jordan Henderson, who plays it off Eddie Nketiah for a throw into Liverpool. And the referee might as well as just blow his whistle and put Arsenal out of misery. you can get to bed, I can get to bed, and thank you for joining me. And it's Liverpool with all the momentum in the title race. And what is going to be decided on Liverpool might not be finished yet. Mane, Salah would have had almost a certain goal there, but for the tenacious defending of Kieran Tierney, who clears it away, and that's the last start to the game. And in the end, Arsenal have been on fantastic form. Arsenal are rejuvenated, and this is the best Arsenal team we've seen in the Premier League for some years or so. But it's a comfortable win for Liverpool, who just always find a way of getting the job done. It's a comfortable win. You don't really feel like they extended themselves out of second or third gear. And City are going to have to really sweat and not drop any more points for the rest of the season, because it's a Liverpool juggernaut that's just going to end up in trophy after trophy. 2 trophies, 3 trophies, who knows, even a quadruple. Anyway, thank you for watching. Good night from me. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm hoping that there's going to be a video out tomorrow from me, because don't forget we are a Burnley channel. I say that because I've been on Watchalong lately, but there is going to be a Burnley video from me about a projected points total for Burnley to get from our remaining games, as to how many points I think we can get, how many points we're going to need to be safe, and also the likely point returns that the likes of Everton, Leeds, Brentford, Watford, and potentially Newcastle are going to get from their remaining games. So I'm going to try and predict how many we'll get, how many I think we'll need, and whether that will see it still probably go down or not. So stay tuned for that. And in terms of Watchalong business, I will be back on Friday night, where we'll be watching Wolves and Leeds together, because that's, if we're a Birmingham fan, we all need to support Leeds. I fucking out support Wolves, sorry, to make sure that Leeds don't pull away from danger. So I'll be here shouting for Wolves on Friday night. Anyway, good night and take care. Sweet well, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for making it a pleasure to do this. And take care. Bye.